What do you think of the check-in pitchers? How do you think that's going? First couple weeks of that now. We're in a second full week of it, Don. What do you think?
I think it's went well. I think it's something that had to happen. I think I was a little naive on it. I was a little naive on the steroids too, honestly. I was thinking, there's not many guys doing it. And obviously we found out there was a lot of guys doing it. And I think what happened with the sticky stuff, because it really started with players basically. I mean, everybody's always tried to have a little bit of tack on the ball. And players in general would say, hey, I don't mind, I want a guy to have some kind of grip. I don't want to get hit in the head.
Right.
I want him to know where it's going. And I think that got taken to another level. And that's really what happened, when you heard more and more guys coming back going, that ball's not moving naturally. You grow up in a game that you see the ball move, and where it's supposed to go, it starts one spot, it's going to another. And when balls start going places they shouldn't go to unnaturally, it's like, I don't know what to do with that, right? And so you heard more and more players coming back saying that thing's moving in a way I've never seen a ball move before. And that told us that the pitchers were going too far, right? They've taken it to an advantage now. They've taken it from, okay, yeah, I need a little grip. Okay, we're all good with that. A little sunscreen rosin or whatever. And that turned into super glue, where you could actually hear the baseball coming off guys' face.
No kidding.
When they would throw it, you would hear. It's like it was amazing. And then, nowadays they can check spin rates. Guys were having spin rates that were past their prime numbers ever, right? So they just kept going up and up, which makes it tougher and tougher to hit. So I think hitters just got fed up with it. And I think it's a good thing. And we're going to have to stay on it, because it won't be long. The guys they're going to start giving up some hits and getting hit harder, and they'll be trying to find ways to use it again.
No kidding. So you're saying you're in the dugout. I mean, you could see the way ball moves too from there, and you'd talk to your hitters as they come back, and you'd have a quick confab and agree with each other like that. That is not right. There is something up with that. Is what you're saying. You'd have those moments.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And for me, not necessarily being able to see that movement, because I'm not up there. These guys see it.
Right.
But obviously you hear it. And that's what's amazing. And then we'd get balls back into the dugout on the foul ball. The umpire throws it out. And it was so sticky that I remember a guy, and I'm not going to use his name because it's been out there too many times anyway.
Right.
That the ball came back. I got some on my finger, and it was almost like when you use super glue and you glue something, and inevitably you always get that on your fingers.
Right.
And I couldn't hardly get it off. It took me like 2 innings of peeling at my finger to get this stuff off of my hand. So I was like, this is a whole nother level of sticky, right? And guys were just using it to an advantage, to an athletic advantage, and really kind of in a sense like steroids, right? You're using that. People don't want to know about a guy that is using super glue to get a better breaking ball. They want to know a guy that's actually got a good breaking ball, because it's him.
So when you say they got to stay on it, because it does seem to me, though, allowing you as a manager, Don Mattingly here on the Rich Eisen Show, allowing you as a manager to have the right to ask somebody to be checked in the middle of an inning, similar to what happened with Girardi and Scherzer the other day, that there's got to be something about that. Or do you as a manager appreciate having the ability to go to an ump at any point in time and say, check that guy?
Yeah, I think what's happened is it's gotten to be where they're going to check in between innings. Mm-hmm. They check 2 to 3 times a game on a starter. Every reliever gets checked when he's coming off the field. It hasn't been a big thing, but it's getting to be. I'm afraid that it gets to be like so quick and so nonchalant that guys figure a way to do it. But now it does open up the door for a manager, because it's always been available to you as a manager to check a guy. But you also knew that you probably had some guys on your club that were using some type of something that you were all of a sudden this was going to be back and forth with them checking your guys and you checking their guys. So it was almost like an unwritten that you're not really going to check unless it's totally obvious. A guy's got, a big old patch on his arm or hand, then you would do it. But in general, you weren't doing it. Now I think it's opened the door to be able to say, hey, we think this guy's, because your video guys are getting it too. our video guy's sitting back there watching this thing, and he's like, hey, he's going to his neck every time right to the ball, right? So now you can go out and say, hey, our guy's got this guy going right to his neck and to the ball. You're able to do that now. And I think it's going to be accepted that you can do that instead of it being a back and forth between teams.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.